And we're live. All right. Let's add Frank. See what happens.
We're waiting for Frank's disembodied. Frank, what's up?
How are you?
I love your cheeky question.
Well, listen, you got to be prepared, right?
Yeah. So Frank asked in the chat, is it mandatory to wear link sole clothes on have a t-shirt on just in case? Encouraged, but not mandatory.
Well,
yeah, there's a lot floating around.
Listen, not for nothing. It is the best stuff. So I appreciate all those guys out there and you guys. So it's great stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So we should be clear. We are right above the Link Soul Lab in Oceanside, California. It's like kind of this old Art Deco building that John Ashworth refurbished, and we've taken over the second story. So that's where the fire pit office is.
I love it. I love it. Good job, guys. Keep up.
What time did you get up this morning to watch, Frank?
I actually slept until 7 o'clock because I had to wait up for my 16-year-old son to get home from being out with his buddies last night. So,
well, you should have just stayed up and kept staying up.
Well, listen, I could have gone right into the 1 o'clock coverage, but it is what it is.
Frank, you got to want it, man. It's open week.
Dude, I'm just trying to figure out what my next tee time is going to be. So,
well, we can relate to that struggle. I think ours is at 2:20, right, Colt? Yeah. I should say that here in the fire pit office, things are happening in the background. We have Jordan Perez and Laz Versailles working. Over here is Colt Nedler.
Awesome. So are we going? So let me ask you something. Am I going to be getting like a text message from Link Soul for like another 50% off because I made it online with you?
Frank, you're really obsessing over the Link Soul thing here, man. This is about the open. This is about the purity of the game. You're commercializing this whole thing.
Sorry.
But we'll talk offline. We'll hook a homie up.
No worries. So let me ask you something. Are we about had it now with the feud between Bryson?
Oh God. Well, I go back and forth because it is tedious and childish, and I feel like it's actually diminished Brooks in some ways. Like his answer should be, "I'm the most badass mofo in the game. Why am I wasting my time with you?" On the other hand, it's undeniably amusing, and so
it's amusing when it's like listen. I guess what everyone is going to really talk about now is what's going to happen in September when they're at Whistling Straits. Because
it's not going to be pretty.
I hate to be Stricker right now.
Yeah, it's killing him on the inside. He's the nicest human on the planet. He's never said a bad thing about anybody. And these are his keynote players.
His dream has come true. He's the captain at home. And, it's been an extra year for everyone to have to deal with it. And now he's got, Bryson that they just can't shut up.
Yeah, congratulations. Now you get to deal with Brooks, Bryson, Patrick Reed, Bubba Watson.
I mean,
it's like, this should be a punishment.
It's unbelievable. It
really is.
I don't know. I just don't know what's gonna keep going on with this, and I mean I'm really tired.
Nothing but sweets
I just want the clubs to talk.
Yeah, at some point I expect Jay Monahan to pull them aside to be like, guys, I know that any news is good news, and we are an entertainment product, but this is getting a little out of hand. I mean, you're diminishing yourselves. This is ridiculous and childish, and maybe it'll have some effect. But clearly, Brooks DGAF, and it's fun for him. Like he's legitimately enjoying bullying Bryson.
I mean, he is a literal savage right now. I mean, that tweet that he sent yesterday with him and the caddy and everything. Nobody talked about it. It was like right under the radar, and it's like, did everyone see this? I mean, he just keeps going.
I mean, on a serious note, Bryson DeChambeau has a chance to be a transcendent player. I mean, he's already halfway to the Hall of Fame with the way he did his amateur career, U.S. Open at Winged Foot, a bunch of tour wins. And I really think this is damaging him. I mean, his sense of self and his ability to, there's so much noise around him, and he just wants to be in a bubble. It's no bueno. Like, I think it's having a legit effect on his career. And
I mean, nobody likes to know it all, but I mean, he he is the one star in the game that is totally unrelatable, in my opinion. Totally unrelatable.
It's true, yeah. It's part of his charm. It's part of what we need. I mean, we don't want everyone to be a cookie cutter, and so I like that Bryson's there. I like that he does it his own way. I like this eternal quest.
I am never going to knock him about his golf. I mean, he's an individualistic dude. I totally get it, but
Yeah.
you just said charm. I that's the term I would not use. Wouldn't deal with
Well, I was being slightly cheeky, but
I hear
it's what makes him interesting.
I got you.
And I mean, we don't want everyone to be Brian Harmon out there or whomever, just kind of a cookie cutter pro. So
Right.
I'm glad we have Bryson, but he does go off the rails, and there's a social awkwardness there, and maybe an anxiety and other things where he has trouble connecting with human beings, and you can actually see him like inputting the commands, make joke here, press return, smile at camera, return. Like it's a little awkward, but I think deep down he's not a bad guy, but he said has a knack for saying the wrong thing.
He does.
Yeah.
But this, I tell you what, this is going to be some leaderboard by the time this is all said and done. I mean, I'm
the big boys are coming for
I'm ready
sure.
for this win to kick up, and it's not.
No, I don't think we're not getting it today for sure. I mean, any links course without wind is very vulnerable. And I mean, 7,000 yards with firm fairways, that's like a guy like you playing a 5,200 yard course. I mean,
Right.
it's ridiculously short, and they're just wedges all day. And so,
Right.
if we don't get some wind over the weekend, it's going to be a bloodbath. But you just got to take it for what it is.
The one bright side is that it is going to be an absolute stacked leaderboard. And
Sure.
I think I just have this funny feeling as I'm watching right now. DJ's moving along really well. He's got some.
There's a chance
this
we
year.
might have to stop.
And people may not view him as one of those guys with a killer instinct, but I'm a big fan of his, and
So,
I got to tell you,
oh yeah,
he was
yeah,
part of
yeah.
that really,
I mean, they
really
can go live. They just won't go live.
2011. He really could have been the guy.
Yeah, I was
That's
saying
unfinished
DJ
business
yesterday.
right now.
He's dangerous. He's been quiet all year, really, and it's time for him to bust out. And this is really the last chance to do something impactful this season. And even though he comes across as so mellow, like he does care about his place in the game.
He does.
So anyway, Frank, it's been awesome talking to you.
Thanks, man.
Send me a tweet or something, and I'll get you that discount code. You've earned it. I mean, you've carried this live cast, so we're gonna take care of you. Don't worry. There might be a free fire pit hat coming your way too. So anyway, thanks for spending some time with us.
Anytime, pal. Be good.
All right, take care. See you.
All right, we are live. We got 9 people watching right now. Nobody in the queue. So tweet it out, jump in. We do have 10 people watching on YouTube.
All right, let's see.
We're rolling.
Let me tweet this out again. Yeah, this is definitely an experiment, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got 10 people here. So I mean, gotta have them throwing in some questions. Who's watching? Come on now.
There's no lurking. If you're here, you got to bring something to this. Come on, it's like a dinner party. You don't show up without a cheese tray or a bottle of wine or something. I mean, come on.
We're live,
Hey,
Matt.
it's the birthday boy. That's Matt Janella. Just scrolling through. He's now 50. He's mostly dead.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's part of
I mean,
it.
there's tequila.
Yeah, I want to. Tequila. I mean,
Come on, you can turn 50.
So that's the bar here in our lounge / conference room. Maddie, what are you drinking? We might need a visual.
What do you think? George is sick. Challenge. That tasted nice on your birthday. Oh, man. Is Laird Shepherd going to make the cut? You need the win to pick up. He's done?
Yeah.
All right, so we have a question on Twitter from Luke Pewak. He says, yeah, you know Luke. He says, can't join because I'm confined to the couch, but related Q for the chat. Is there a better day to schedule a vasectomy than Thursday of the Open? You get left alone all weekend,
Wednesday.
get to hang out on the couch and watch golf all day. Strong recommend so far. Wait, this sounds like Luke might have gotten snipped. I mean,
We need another generation of players.
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, people tend to say that NCAA, first week of the tournament is the best time for a vasectomy, but that's only basketball. Who cares? I mean, this is the sport of kings. But then what do you do after 2:00 or whatever time zone you're in? I mean, it's still a long day. I guess you have live from, and then you have the Barbasol. So yeah, I salute your decision making there, Luke. Well played. We have another tweet from Lou Brown. Who says written submissions only from Jeffrey Tubin, please. Yeah, we got to clean things up on the live stream for sure. I'm keeping my hands right here. I want my hands visible at all times. I don't want any accusations, anything impropriety. So
We got Mark Rue. Who you got, Spieth, Morikawa, or the field?
all right, excellent question by Mark Rue. Who you got, Spieth, Morikawa, or the field? If I could take Spieth and Morikawa versus the field, I'm definitely taking those two guys. They're playing beautiful golf. Jordan's driving it fantastic, and his wedge game looks strong. And this course is playing so short. That's what it is. If it's drive or wedge, if you're in the fairway. And of course, Morikawa with his iron game today was just spectacular. So if I had to choose just one, I feel like there's still a penalty for a big miss. And at some point Jordan's going to hit some foul balls. And depending on if it burrows into a rabbit hole, the guy's looking, the double bogey lurks. Morikawa is just so rock solid. But it is interesting. I've heard Jordan talk about this at the Masters. He doesn't want to stand on driving range and hit the same shot all day long, which is kind of the goal of many modern pros. Spieth loves uneven lies, the funky shots, the creativity. It's why he's played so well at the Masters, and it's why he has a great record at the Open. And St. George is the most fiddly of all of the courses in the Rota, and you never have a flat lie. You always have a different kind of shot to shape, and so he's tough to bet against. I mean, that's a coin flip, but I'll take Morikawa just because I think he can avoid the big miss, and I'm still not 100% confident that Jordan can.
All right, another question, Brian Garrett. What final score wins it?
Yeah, so Brian Garrett, what final score wins it? It's all about the forecast, right? I mean, there's no wind for the rest of the day, so they're just going to keep going lower. And the weekend looks pretty benign. That can obviously change in a heartbeat, but I'm thinking 21 under wins at this point. I just keep going. You need to shoot 65 out there to keep up. So it's a little bittersweet. These proud old playing fields that date to the 19th century, and they're just rendered obsolete by the modern athletes and all their technology. But it's always been the case when links courses, when they don't have wind, they're vulnerable, and they're just more vulnerable now because they play so short. So I'm saying the winning scores are going to start with a 2. It might be 20, it might be 21, but I think it's going to just keep going.
All right, we got someone jumping into the live video chat. Huge sounds. We'll see who it is. Here we go.
Yes.
Boys,
Nice backdrop. Where are you?
got a cigar lounge in Murphy, Texas called En Fuego.
That's not as macho as it gets right there.
I put up on 4 this morning. Pretty easy course. I'm an old guy and I walk, so that was a good day for me.
That's awesome. I mean, is the ghost of Tom Landry hovering about? I mean, that's like.
Indeed. I'm a big Shipnuck fan, so this is a thrill.
Oh, well, I appreciate you. So what are we smoking? I mean, you must have a vast array of choices.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, careful. Who is this? Are we still dealing with federal defendants?
It's a good Puro.
Clearly. So was there a lot of people up early watching golf in Texas? Is that a thing?
That's a thing. Yeah, there's a whole gaggle of us. I played at sunup today. and guys were keeping tabs on everything as we played. Coming home on the ticket, local radio station here, they had updates often, and there's a bunch of guys that I know that were sort of keeping tabs on each other on Twitter.
That's killer. It's something fun about Open Week is that there's just the communal experience. We're all up at weird times and suffering and sleepy and got an IV drip of latte, and it's just part of the whole week, and I love that. So I'm way to be.
Yeah, I'll be up tomorrow early and on Sunday as well.
Well, I mean, you got Texas' own Jordan Spieth is looking very tough, so I'm sure there's a little extra layer of excitement.
Yeah, now are we still tied for the lead here?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I've been so locked and loaded on this live stream, I haven't watched the last 15 minutes of action because the viewers are more important than the freaking Open. But yes, I mean, he's going to be there to the bitter end. Yeah. Oh, King Louis made another birdie, so he's not 10 under, so he's leading by 1.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Woesthuizen there's so much goodwill around the guy, and I think because he's what he did at the old course, the crowds are on his side to some degree, so maybe they can carry him home. It's obviously overdue to get one of these done.
Yeah, we agree. He's a good dude though, so we're pulling for him. But I like Morikawa too. I like his game. I like Louis. I like small guys who can hit it a long way. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and what's interesting, Morikawa and Spieth and Louis, I mean, they can move the ball, but there's still a lot of finesse in their game, a lot of precision, and they're kind of throwbacks. It's not just smash and grab like sort of the modern tour player. So it's fun to watch them maneuver their way around these very interesting and fiddly golf courses. Yeah. So do you ever see Spieth out and about in the Dallas area?
Yeah, I have not yet, but I work right near Brookhaven Country Club. I'm a musician and I teach, and he's been seen. He's seen all the time over here. Yeah, I haven't been lucky enough to bump into him, but that day will come.
Well, and that's what I like about Jordan is he doesn't live in a bubble. I mean, even though he's obviously a superstar, he kind of just lives his life and he's out and about. And
he was at a place called Eatsy's the other night, having some food just on the patio a few weeks ago. So it's good.
He's a mostly normal guy.
Yeah.
I've told the story before, but the 2019 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, Michael Bamberg and I sneaked into the tap room, which is a great 19th hole at Pebble, and it was kind of off limits. And there's this big table that was being reserved in the quarter. We knew it was for Gary Woodland, and sure enough, he shows up with a trophy. He's already kind of housed. He's got all his people, and the table next to us was Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth and their wives/girlfriends and actually Spieth's parents, and they're doing shots and having a great time. And Thomas saw Michael and I and kind of like shrank, like, oh, what are these guys doing here? And Spieth kind of came over, sat at our table for like 45 minutes, and we were just talking about golf and Pebble Beach, and he was asking us about our jobs, and he's just kind of a curious fellow, and he's interested in the world around him, so that was a cool experience.
That's a good story.
Yeah, it was great. We were actually, Michael and I were going to podcast from the tap room. We had all our gear. Thought it would be kind of a fun little atmosphere. But when we saw all the players and everything, we're like, nah, let's just hang out and relax. And a lot of great observational reporting, which is kind of what it's all about. And so anyway. Well, do you have any specific questions before we jump off here?
We have really bad audio.
Oh, because you can't hear me?
Can't hear you. Unfortunately, it's like really jumbled.
It might be an internet connection, or maybe you smoke too many cigars. Like it could be the Macanudos. All right. Well, hey, thanks for stopping by. This is good fun. Go Texas.
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you. All right. In the chat, Lefty Golfer Ord asked, do you think Royal St. George has acquitted itself well? And he made a joke about Ryan French's spelling and grammar, which has become a staple of the internet at this point. Yeah, I mean, there's a weird anti-St. George's sentiment out there. I think it's an awesome course. It's unique. It's quirky. It can drive the players a little crazy, but that's part of the challenge. You know, it's not a brute. It's kind of a mystery and an enigma, and I enjoy that. So there's certain holes that kind of look the same on TV, but one thing that's really neat, the routing evokes Muirfield, which it kind of goes in a couple circles, and so like I say, Royal Troon, half the holes go one direction, the other half come back, and it's the same wind, and you can sort of get in a groove. But at St. George, the wind's coming a different angle, different direction every time, and so I like that. That makes it a great test. Yeah.
Corey Maillet, chances of a Canadian or two getting top 5.
Go Canada. I will say this. I love how rabid Canadian golf fans are. I mean, you've had Mike Weir had a run for like 2 years, and that was the glory of Canadian golf, and you're still hanging on. But there definitely seems to be more depth coming from north of the border, and I think the Mackenzie tour has helped stimulate some local talent. So I guess anything's possible. But the fact that it's going to be 75 on the weekend, and that's really hot for a pasty Canuck. So I don't know. I think the environment's working against them. But hey, it'd be great. I wanted a Canadian to get a top 5 just because it means so much to you people. Whether it's going to happen, we shall see.
Kevin O'Connor, better course, RSG or Seaport?
Ooh, wow. So Kevin O'Connor asked, what's a better course, St. George's or Royal Cinque Ports, which is right next door. And during Open Week last time in 2011, Bamberger and I played Cinque Ports every night. We'd file our story, and then we'd go out and play. And it's so wonderful and so charming and very dear to my heart. St. George's is more of a test and more of a championship length. Cinque Ports is pretty short, but it's hard to beat. I mean, that to me is the ideal linksland golf course. It's just fun and doesn't make sense in some places. And there's blind shots. And you can say the same thing about Royal St. George's, but it's for the average golfer. St. George's is a tough golf course. It really is. It's narrow and it's easy to lose your golf ball. And the greens can be a little wild in spots. Cinque Ports is a little more mild, but just incredibly fun. So I would say for my heart would be at Cinque Ports. As a test of golf, you got to go St. George's. So it depends what you like, really.
All right, guys, we have a special guest joining the chat. Look who it is.
What?
Dude, I was not jealous about not being out there until I saw the picture from Laz, and now I'm like,
guest appearance by Monday Q Info. What's happening, Ryan?
what's up, guys? How is everybody?
We're having fun. I mean, probably too much fun. Not getting enough sleep. There's been some fun team dinners. We got some golf coming.
All right. Enough.
Yeah, sorry. No, it's been horrible. It's just meeting after meeting. It's oppressive.
Yeah,
it's
Thank you.
Janella won't stop talking, and Laz and all these guys. This hasn't been any fun at all.
I know Laz,
But so where are you right now? You at home?
I am at home. Yes,
That's so rare. You're
I
a
know.
road warrior.
Been on the road for a long time.
Have you figured out your iPhone yet, Ryan? The internet wants to know.
No, zero chance. I just tweeted out duck mast instead of dick mast because it auto-corrected.
that cuts especially deep because we know he's your hero.
Yes, come on.
I mean, is there not a teenager in the neighborhood who you could pay like $10 an hour just to be your tutor on
No,
the
I
iPhone?
refuse.
It can't be that hard.
I'm too stubborn, and
Well,
I will just pile through, and it really just gives me a lot of content to just hammer Matt and over again.
okay. Well, we respect that. Yeah, Janella said you're like Bryson, blaming the equipment. Yeah, take some ownership here, friends. Luckily, you're slightly more likable than Bryson, but if this keeps up, we're gonna have to reassess. I mean, yeah, we're sorry you're not here, but this is not gonna be the last Fire Pit get together. It turns out that some of our key staffers have never been to Bandon Dunes, which is a crime against humanity. Have you been?
No.
Hey, for fuck's sake!
Yeah.
We're now the majority.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
we are definitely having a fire pit offsite abandoned. Like this is an abomination.
To be fair, that's like pretty off brand for me. So, I mean, I can tell you about some munis around.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can play Bandon Crossings across the street, which is a kind of a local muni. But no, I mean, Bandon is the soul of the game. It's just people having fun. It's not Pebble Beach. I mean, come on. So what are you typing up these days, Ryan? You nurturing any features?
Yeah. I mean, two good ones. Chris Irwin and Nick Biondi, who both will be out in the next month or so. I saw Matt's tweet.
Did you see Matt? Yeah. You're
But
not fired.
yeah.
We just took a vote. You're not fired. But,
thank you.
I can't wait to read those features. I mean,
Yeah, both are really, really good stories. Nick is the most heartbreak. I don't know. I mean, it's a great story at the end of the day, but what he's gone through is heartbreaking, and you give a lot of credit to the people and him who have got his life in order. Because once you hear his story, the odds that he is supposed to be a professional golf is almost zero. So
I can't wait. Well, that's your subspecialty, is finding the emotional long shot stories. I mean, everyone loves those. So that's great. I like your hat too. Way to rep.
thanks, man. Just got it from him.
Let me jump on Twitter here and see what people are sending in.
Their Venus sports paired up with another 3 ball. It was like kind of slow. So the 3 ball behind us, we had like 7. Nice.
I think Joe Horowitz is doing it.
Nice.
We have a little live music
Hey,
coming
here.
here.
We got
Let's do it.
so because it's Matt's birthday today. We have various people are coming to town for the festivities. So we might have some live music here in the lounge soon.
Come on.
I know. I'm sorry, but you were invited.
I know, but everybody's like, no. I think I was kind of invited, but everybody's like, no. You should stay home. You should
Well,
stay.
to be fair, you haven't been home a lot, and we don't want to burn out Mrs.
Yeah, burn out
Monday
with live
cute.
music and drinks and hanging out with everybody. That sounds. I better stay home. You're right.
Tell Ryan to tweet out.
Send out the StreamYard link.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Your colleagues are saying you should
I
you should
did.
retweet the link to this chat, and we might get some yahoos up in here, which we
All right,
need.
hold on. I thought I did.
I can't believe you haven't attracted more yahoos. Yeah.
We have a question from someone.
Speaking of shots fired, Jordan Morad, where does Matt park his walker?
Yeah, one of our watchers has asked for Matt Park. It's probably a Bag Boy brand walker.
Right at the base of that steps, the asshole.
It's Bag Boy.
Ask my chauffeur.
There's a Bag Boy walker.
We got to be careful on the put downs because we're all getting towards 50s, so it's bearing down on the rest of us. But
Speak for yourself.
yeah, except for Jordan, who's not even halfway there.
Aaron, Cole, Jordan, Alex. None of them are close.
James Cook, how come Fire Pit isn't at the Open? Alan, how
Yeah.
hard would it be to actually travel there?
Yeah, so James Cook asked, how come we're not at the Open? The problem is 10-day quarantine. You could test out after 5, although it wasn't guaranteed. Plus a long week at the height of summer. I've got 4 kids, and so with a heavy heart, I didn't make the trip. But we're definitely trying to do as much content from home, and it's the first one I missed in a good long while. And I'm sure I'll be back at every one that follows. But yeah, it was a tough year. A lot of trips coming up with Solheim Cup and Ryder Cup and FedEx Cup and who knows what. So this was one summer had to be a little strategic, but it's definitely hard not to be there. I was texting with Michael Bamber, who also didn't make the trip, and he never misses an Open. And we were both a little, I don't know, melancholy. But the good thing is thanks to modern technology, we can share it with all the people at home. So it's still getting to experience it a little bit. And in fact, it's kind of fun because I'm always over there and I miss out on the getting up in the middle of the night and the communal aspect of suffering together. And so it's been fun in its own way. How much have you been watching of the Open, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I got it on. I mean, I just tweeted out like, this is like a really busy day. One of the like really busy days. The Waterloo Open, who like most people will not know, but Waterloo Open is like the gold standard of mini tour events. I mean, Woody Austin won it. Tom Lehman like been played every year since every year except for last year since 1930.
Ryan was tweeting about that.
That's awesome. I saw that they have a drone, right? They have
like, there's a family in this little town of Waterloo, Iowa that gives $20,000 to the purse. It's $50,000 to the winner. It's a tiny little course where like the par is listed as 72, but it's more like 65. And so you got to shoot. I think the winner the last time it was played, 2019, was 30 under in 3 rounds. So
that's amazing.
So it's I mean, opposite Barbasol, Korn Ferry, Dick Mast is like 70 years old and is in 5th place at the Virginia Open. So it's a busy day.
Are you? That's a huge day. Are you getting any closer to spend some time with Dick Mast?
I actually just texted with his son.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
Someone needs to ask Alan what his lifetime record is against Matt. He was tweeting Matt shit talking his face during back, or what's going on here? What?
Seed.
I just tweeted, or not tweeted, sent Ryan the link. So the StreamYard link.
Didn't I?
Usti! This dude is dealing.
I just quote tweeted Matt.
Oh wow!
You know, like honestly, golf is kind of a game of threes. Whoever makes the most threes typically wins.
King Louis just made eagle. He's putting the hammer down. 12 under. I mean, he did it the old course. Like, he could just run away and hide, and I don't think anybody would mind. He's had so much heartbreak. The guy's too good not to win another major, and maybe that's what he needs instead of a lot of guys on the leaderboard and a chance to lose it. He's just got to win by 6, and he could certainly do it. You want to hear a sad story, Ryan? After Louis won the Open, I was talking to his people. I said, I want to go down to South Africa. I want to hang out on the farm. I want to ride tractors and just embed in Louis' life. And I even talked to Louis about it. I said, that sounds like fun. Sure, anytime.
Yeah.
And his agents and everyone were like, oh, he's so busy, so many commitments. And I explained to them, I've been through this before. When a guy wins a major like that, there's a 1-year window to get these kind of stories done. Because as soon as he's not the Open champion, my editors and possibly my readers lose a certain amount of interest, no matter how good the story is. And they kept blowing me off, and sure enough, we could never get it scheduled, and came back to it like 18 months later, and everyone's like, nah, we're over Louis. Too bad. So
how good would it have been to like lip sync with Louis?
Well, that's it. I mean, there's all of that, and he's out in the bush with Schwartzel, and they're shooting things, and he's got this fleet of John Deere tractors, and he's doing karaoke night. Like it would have been amazing. So he's my Dick Mast. Like it would be incredible if we could pull that off. Yeah.
Oh boy. What?
I mean, Ryan, you talked about being off-brand, but I'm curious, what is your interest in like just going to an Open and just covering it straight? And
I mean, I definitely think
Barbasol watch party. That's his question right now.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Open and the U.S. Open because there is a lot of qualifiers. So like, there's a ton of stories. I mean, this guy Nicholas Peppleton or whatever. I mean, the guy literally like delivering groceries to keep his.
Oh, Jesus.
And
looking at Dustin.
If anyone's comfortable around a bunch of grass, it's Dustin Johnson.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Yeah, does that surprise you? Don't be a stranger in your own world, of course.
pretty
Fresh
awesome.
grass. Like, who else is doing it?
Well, that's something we should talk about, Ryan. Like, make a little wish list of the things you want to cover. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be
that's
great to get you over there.
I mean, there's so many stories that can be told before the cut. I mean, like, I know nothing about Poom Sakashian besides he's played one event in 2021 on the All Thailand tour, and just made the cut. So
Yeah.
like that. I mean, the Open and the U.S. Open with a ton of qualifiers just creates a ton of stories.
I would actually love to go back and talk to some of the older guys when you had to fly over to Great Britain to qualify,
Yeah,
and nothing was guaranteed.
yeah,
And you know, guys like Brad Faxon and some of the Soul Surfers, they did it. A lot of folks obviously refused because it was an expensive trip and all that. But there's probably some great stories from those days of near misses and hijinks. And when,
oh my!
I'd like to read that.
Imagine just going over there like some random PGA Pro and then missing, and you're just stuck over there with all your buddies who probably made it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what do you do? Like, do
Just go hammer it for a week.
you play some recreational golf?
Yeah.
You
Oh, you just drink.
God.
yeah, you drink. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Twitter. The question is from Crosspatch. His Twitter handle's at XX007.
Don't.
I like this guy already. And all it says is one question. Is it one word or two? Obviously, he's referring to Fire Pit and the controversy you've created, Ryan. You fracture the entire Fire Pit world with your refusal to update your bio.
Yes.
Deep down, we respect it. You know
I mean,
that.
it is now like I complain about my Apple product, but it does not correct. I've made it one word so many times that now it doesn't autocorrect my Fire Pit to 2 words. So
You've just like beat the
Apple says
computers
it-
into submission.
yeah, if it's Apple,
All right, so at Michael P9677 asks,
hey,
why didn't Brian just switch
hey,
to
Matt.
a 2-iron?
hey Matt, I don't know if you know this, but Good Walk Coffee has a promotional code for me. So if you're listening, use it. It's 20% off. Second of all, it's Fire Pit and it's one word. So
Well, that's a promo code. That doesn't count, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
dude,
You can't have a space in a promo code.
yeah, well, I mean, maybe they could have picked a different one.
That's unethical. You tricked us,
Yeah.
Ryan. All right, let me go back to this question. It's from Michael P9677. Why didn't Bryson just switch to a 2-iron? When my driver isn't good and a fix isn't readily available, that is what I do. Actually, an 18-degree hybrid would seem to be an effective strategy on a links course. He says, I cannot watch you live on a bleeping work video. We feel your pain, Michael. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. As part of Bryson's meltdown is he couldn't input the code fast enough. You know, all the ones and zeros it would take to rethink his strategy. He just melted down and needed a better processor and maybe more upgraded Wi-Fi. Like he couldn't make the right decision in the moment. That's part of his problem. He's very strident and he's very headstrong. And so he's like, I'm just going to keep smashing driver until I figure this out. And obviously he never did. So it shows a flaw in his thinking and in his approach and his ability to react to the moment. So it was revealing in its own way, even before he dumped on Cobra. Our guy, our Frank from earlier says, feeling an Usti DJ duel on Sunday. That shot of DJ out of the rough is just stupid good. Yeah, we were whooping and hollering about that. That's an interesting question. Who would be the people rooting for, DJ or Usti? You know, obviously Dustin had a chance at Royal St. George's and semi-shanked 1 OB on down the stretch, and he's the kind of guy who should win an Open Championship. I mean, he's the caliber of player that demands more major championships. You can say the same for Usti. So I think they're each likable in their own way. I think ultimately the people will be rooting for Usti because he's just a little more fun. But I would love to see Dustin in it. He needs to be part of these things a little more often.
Yes, after you join the chat for a minute.
Brian Garrett, why are South Africans so chill?
Yeah, we need you to.
Why are South Africans so chill?
Everybody.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, why are English blokes so uptight? I mean, it's just a cultural, right? Like it's hard to say exactly. It's just a culture that seems to celebrate that. And when Ernie Els is kind of your modern standard there, then chill is going to be a prized commodity. But yeah, that's a good one. That's not on the short list of places I want to go. I haven't been in South Africa yet, so I need to examine that a little more carefully. Ryan, who we got here?
What's your name?
Jackson.
Hey, Jackson, how you doing, bud?
Good.
Yeah,
I've
so
heard
for
a
the
little
new
bit
people,
about you.
Jackson is the reason for the account, really.
Yeah, I know, Jackson. You're semi-famous, actually.
Yeah.
Your dad wrote a big story about you. Did you see that?
Did you see her? Remember the pictures we took? You don't?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. Are you watching a little golf with Dad?
No.
I'm watching Hudson's Playground.
Actually, maybe I actually didn't put the.
Brian Garrett asks, what happened to Phil this week? It's partially an emotional hangover, right? Like he climbed the mountain, and it's not an easy journey down from the mountaintop. So I think he's kind of spent emotionally, and certainly he wasn't driving it well. And these fairways are narrow, and looks like they haven't cut the hay in years. So there were some big misses, but certainly with Phil's creativity and the way he's learned to embrace links golf, you'd expect him, even when he's struggling, to scrape it around a little closer to par. But I think Phil's also at the point in his life and his career where if he's not going to win, he's really not going to grind. So once he's 3 or 4 over par and everyone else is going low, he's kind of like, okay. So it was a little shocking that he shot 80 on an easy scoring day. But when you're hitting it sideways and you're not super engaged, that happens.
There's not a breath of wind.
Crazy.
There's even birds flying. This is like one. Like, literally, we all grew up playing this course.
There's more wind in Oceanside right now.
Yeah, for sure.
A quick story about, are you guys ahead or behind me? You must be ahead of me.
What's on your screen?
Mackenzie Hughes just missed a putt.
Yeah, we're a few seconds ahead of you.
All right. Yeah, a quick story about Mackenzie Hughes for those that don't know, but super nice guy. Reached out to him, and I have messaged a few times, and he sent me a message and had a bunch of clothes and equipment and wanted to find a team in Charlotte where he lives. And we ended up connecting with a school in need, and he took over like 5 boxes of clothes, a bunch of clubs, a bunch of balls, all that kind of stuff. So he's a super good dude.
I love it. I mean, that's one of the cool things about your account is I think there's a lot of folks who want to give back. They don't really know how to do it, and you've just sort of provided an easy conduit. So how many DMs do you get, Ryan, people who are kind of asking for help these days?
Yeah, I mean, a ton. And I get a lot more that people want to help, So, for the people that are listening, but like Fire Pit and I are working on a more streamlined, I've always kind of done it like block and tackle just as we go. But as it's grown and more people are willing to help, we just need to have it more organized. So it's coming. It's definitely
God, the camera work there.
That was cool. I love that, Ryan. I mean, that's definitely a large-scale project for us. I mean, it would be cool if we could do sort of like a Tinder for would-be sponsors and aspiring pros, and they can sort of find each other, and it'd be like a marketplace for those who need help and those who want to help. Like, there's got to be an algorithm out there. I don't know. Like, let's like aim big. We'll take a little percentage, which we'll donate to charity, and we'll just keep the whole thing going. Like,
Look at this putter.
I don't know. Do you think does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. It's
because I've heard plenty of stories too about kind of young pros in need who get into these exploitive situations where they're signing away their future, and but to find people who really do want to give back. Like I know you have folks in your network. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, pros get in. In fact, Chris Irwin, the story I'm writing, it's definitely part of it is he got into a bad deal and made him quit because he couldn't make it work.
It happens. It's 10:48 a.m. and we have Fire Pit Pilsner.
Good night.
That's the kind of office we have here.
Lord.
Cheers, Colt.
Long week. Well deserved.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Jump over to Twitter and see what's popping.
Were you looking on Twitter? Any replies or?
Looking right now. Well, my guy Upton has once again responded with the gif of the squirrel shouting Allen. This is now a troubling trend, but I guess this is just part of the job, Ryan. So the Edward Lore Tracker asks, who'd be the best leader at the Open to track off the course? Obviously, it's Dustin. I mean, Hall of Famer on and off the course.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get an unedited, like actual tracker, 100%.
Yeah.
Weekend, dude. Here we go.
Yeah.
Blame it on the rain that was falling. Blame it on.
We're losing control of the room. We're
Yeah,
losing control of the room.
Hey, what?
Yeah, there we go. Colt just put up the graphic. It haunts me.
God.
Ryan, have I ever told you my Dustin Johnson, Natalie Golbis story?
No, let me hear.
Oh, this is a classic. So I'm working on this big feature on Dustin. This is like 2013 maybe. And I go hang out with him in South Carolina and his live-in girlfriend, and we have like 3 meals and walk the dog and spend all this time together. And the story is actually a Masters preview, so I'm kind of nurturing it for a while. And so fast forward to Kapalua a couple months later, which is a very intimate event, and everyone stays at the Ritz-Carlton there, and you bump into players and caddies and everyone all week long. There's no hiding there. And I'm up like the first tee, and Natalie Golbis sachets by in a little skirt. And I'd done a big feature on her recently. So I was like, Natalie, hey. She gives me a hug. That didn't suck. And I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, well, I'm kind of hanging out with Dustin. I was like, oh, really? I didn't know that. And I said, are you guys like an actual couple? She's like, well, I'll let Dustin handle our PR. I said, wow, okay. I said, how long have you been here? She said, I just came straight from the airport. I haven't even seen him yet. I'm going to go out and walk like the back 9. And so Dustin finishes around. And of course, there's no fans out there. He knows she's there. They're probably like chit-chatting. And so I'm like, okay, Natalie Golbis is a big star. Dustin's a big star. They're obviously in a relationship. Like this is going to pop. Someone's going to break this. You can't hide Natalie Golbis at Kapalua. So I'm like, it might as well be me, right? Like I'm already working on this story. I don't want to look stupid. Like I got scooped on my own thing. So I'm like, okay, I got to get a comment from Dustin. And I wait for him behind 18. He signs his card and he comes out of the trailer at a dead sprint. Like he wants to get back to the hotel room where Natalie is waiting. And he's not doing any interviews. I'm like, crap. So there goes my chance to confirm it. And I said, all right, well, I know he's in the Ritz-Carlton. Dustin's probably not clever enough to have a different name on his room. So I'm like, God, this is a little suspect. But
This is like TMZ
I'm
style.
chasing the story now. I'm in too deep. So I call the switchboard. I'm like, yeah, can I have a room with Dustin Johnson, please? And it rings for like 20 times. But I know he's there. And finally he picks up the phone. He's like, hello? I'm like, hey, Dustin, hey, this is Alan Shipnick. How's it going, man? I'm sorry to bother. Hey, call me back in an hour. Click. Shit. So anyway, I wound up getting more confirmation. I wrote the story. It went like all over the internet. And then it was short-lived. And Natalie's people are like calling me saying, hey, will you send a tweet out about how Natalie showed so much class, after Dustin kind of dumped her. I said, I don't want to get in the middle of this. She has her own Twitter. I mean, give me a break. And
I mean, this story is great, but B, Alan, it reminds me of I'm so happy to be reporting on the players that I do, because literally no one has an agent and no one has anything.
Exactly.
There's no
No.
people that call me.
Yeah, so I'm still nurturing this big feature on Dustin, and so he comes out to Pebble Beach for like the media day. He's defending champ, and I haven't seen him or talked to him since all this stuff blew up. And so I kind of wait for him on the side, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blow up your spot. Like it just kind of happened. I had to write about it." And he's like, "Oh, man, it's cool. Don't worry about it." And like I put this in the story. I was like, everyone always says Dustin can shrug off anything, penalty whistling straights. He forgot about the negative. It's like, well, he got over Natalie Golbus real quick, so apparently he can shrug off anything. And so it was quite an awkward moment in my reporting career, but definitely colorful.
We got Stuart Joel or Joel Stewart.
Oh, Joel Stewart, my man.
Hey, what's up?
What's happening?
All is good.
I don't recognize you without a hat. Like you look kind of like the dude at the end of Breaking Bad. Like
Exactly.
What are you cooking in the kitchen, Joel?
Hey, man, I've been turned down women. I like meet these women. I have my hat on and I take my hat off and all of a sudden they run away.
Well, that was like my first trip to Scotland. I was with a guy and he walked into the clubhouse wearing his hat, and the bartender's like, "Sir, we don't do that here. Please remove your hat." And he took it off and he was bald. And the guy goes, "Never mind, put it back on." It was like, it just
Thank
cut
you,
him
Alan.
deep.
Appreciate it.
So what do you think of the Open? I know you've been watching.
I just can't get excited about Louis Oosthuizen, man. The guy just, he's a nice guy. And in fact, I sent you that question about whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame or not. But
Yeah.
family guy, but really, it's just going to be a train wreck at the end, historically. So we'll see.
He doesn't ooze charisma. It's true. Like the goodwill around Louis is sort of us projecting things onto him, because he has a beautiful swing and he seems kind of carefree and it's not tortured by his near misses. But you're right. He doesn't give you much on the golf course other than just a very beautiful golf swing.
Morikawa now, I'm a little surprised at that, but a young guy hasn't played before. But if he gets his putter gets rolling, he's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and he seems to figure it out. I remember talking to Tom Watson about this because he had played no links golf before he came over and started winning Opens. And he's like, golf is golf. If you're good at golf, you can figure it out. And I think that's where Morikawa is. Like, he's just first time playing in the Open, but he can hit golf shots, and he's got a feel for how to play it already. So it certainly helps. There's not big wins that would force him to maybe be a little even more creative. But he's a guy who's just a savant, and so I think he's dangerous every time he tees it up, no matter what the venue.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, I'm going to be away August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Are you around?
I am. What are you proposing?
I'm taking 16 people to Pasa and 16 people to Monterey Peninsula and 12 people to Cyprus.
I like all three of those golf courses. So, I mean, if you need to fill out your group, I will jump on the grenade. For the people watching at home, Joel is a golf course architecture enthusiast. I think that'd be the most polite way to put it.
Fanatic, yeah. Thank you.
Fanatic. What do you think of St. George's?
I think it's phenomenal. No, it's one of my favorite road courses.
See, I don't understand. There's this element of out there people don't like St. George's, but I think that's more like the tour players because they don't care about architecture. They care about making birdies. That's it. And so some of the blind shots and things take them out of their comfort zone, and so they complain. But for the average fan, I mean, average golfer, you can't have much more fun than this place.
I agree. No, Brooks Koepka talked about the blind shots. He didn't like that. And you know who is that way exactly? Christina Kim.
Well, I like the blind shots. I like the quirkiness. I mean, that's what it's all about when you go over there. I don't want to play Firestone if I've flown all the way over to the UK. So come on, give me the weirdness. But
no, this course is, what is it? Top 20, 25 in the world. It's, unbelievable.
And I love Syncport's next door just as much. Yeah, it's in its own way. It's so much fun.
I want to see it now that they've made a couple architectural changes. Yeah, that looks really, really, really good. They had the British Amateur there a couple of years ago, and it was fantastic. But the weather was like a hurricane. So
that's good though.
So good.
I like to watch
you
them
didn't go
suffer.
over this year?
Well, the quarantine was a major issue, and I've been covering the majors for Digest, and a couple of their younger staffers hadn't been able to go to some majors, and so it just seemed like a good one to let someone else have an at bat, because if you have to do the quarantine, it turns into a 2-week trip. And the height of summer with my kiddos, I just decided I would step aside and let someone else have an at bat. But it's tough. I said earlier, I've been texting with Bamberger's not there either. It's probably the first British Open since the mid '90s that we both haven't attended, one of us at least. And it's a little hard because, but I'm enjoying the aspect of just watching it like everybody else, because golf Twitter's been on fire. And the early mornings and the long days are fun.
Yeah, no, that's too bad. So
yeah.
Joel,
all right,
I'm adding in
just wanted to
Brandon
hop on
Ebert.
and say hello, and
I appreciate that. It's always good to see a familiar face. So yeah, let's talk offline about that trip in August. That sounds amazing.
yeah, I was talking to Mike the other day too, and anyway, I'll fill you in on that also. A lot of interesting stuff going on with him and the family.
Good. I look forward to it. All right, talk to you soon.
All right,
thanks for being here, Joe. All right.
Brandon Ebert from PowerPoints. Woo, Brandon.
What's up, Brandon?
How's
it going?
I'm doing well, and you?
Having fun. Where are you right now?
I'm in Kansas. Actually, my son is doing a tennis meet, so we're in between games right now.
Oh,
so
sweet. Look at Laz's hat. He's
I
always
love
repping.
I'm just wearing this.
Love it. Yeah, it's mandatory golf Friday. We got a mandatory golf Friday game going, and I'm heading out to play. So life is good.
For the folks at home who don't know Brandon, he's one of the originators of PowerPoints, which they've been a great supporter of the Fire Pit Collective, and we've all been experimenting with the app. It's great fun. I mean, it definitely is a new wrinkle, and especially if you play the same course over and over, and it adds a whole layer of strategy and intrigue. So I would definitely recommend testing it out. I had the pleasure of playing with Brandon at Prairie Dunes, and we tested out. I still think about that golf course, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, I look forward to getting you back out when the weather's nice. So
I enjoyed the suffering. I mean, when I think about Prairie Dunes and I watch this Open, like it really evokes kind of similar things. I mean, that long grass and against the green fairways and the movement of the land. I mean, they could host an Open championship at Prairie Dunes. Like, I would support that.
It'd be great. We have to lengthen it a little bit. It's a great challenge. If the wind is blowing, it's a tough challenge, but it's a fun course to play, no doubt.
I think I'm going to make a little movement on Twitter and see how all the British newspaper lads take that. We're going to move the British Open to Kansas. Yeah. Well, you got the birthday boy.
Hey, happy birthday, Matt. Enjoy the day.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. Go make par, baby.
That's right. There you go. It's mandatory golf Friday. Get the game. Are you guys going to play? You guys going to play this afternoon?
Yeah. We have Friday skins at the Goat, so we're excited about that. And Matt's already been hitting that, as you can tell. I mean,
He's time to go to the shelf.
he's often in good mood, but it's elevated this morning on his birthday with some day drinking. So, but yeah. So, what is the tennis scene there like? I'm picturing just armies of kids wagging balls.
There you go. Yeah, it's 10-year-old kids playing tennis. So there's a lot of chasing balls, a lot of balls into the net, but it's fun. They enjoy it. So a little bit off. We get to see kids.
There was a moment when all four of my kids were playing soccer, and I'd be at the pitch Saturday from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with all the different games, and it was a marathon of parenting. The amount of food and snacks and blankets and pillows. Oh my God, it was brutal. I'm happy that some of them aged out, but
the good news is they play for a little bit, then they have.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, you got to start them. You got to start them young for sure.
So,
how much overlap is there between the tennis players and the golfers? Have you been able to recruit some of them?
in our community, it's not much. It's kind of thing. Unfortunately, golf for the boys.
That's it. They're gonna get loose on this thing.
For the high school, to double up. It's a lot of kids one or the other, unfortunately.
I've kind of told my kids they don't have to play golf or they don't have to play tennis, but they should definitely pick one because those are the sports you wind up playing as an adult. I mean, I still like to play a little basketball, but every time I walk out of the gym, I say a little prayer that I have both of my Achilles tendons still. So,
yeah, no doubt. I think all kids need to have at least one individual sport.
That's probably the greatest drinking water available.
One sport you play, you versus the other guy. It's definitely
That's
sport.
purified water with gas added.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So where's your game this afternoon?
So this afternoon, I'm playing at Salina Country Club. So there's a stable going on right now, heading out there after this. Win the match, but I just got to beat my brother-in-law Ryan. That's my main goal.
Exactly. I don't. All I care about is beating Matt. Like everything else that happens out on the golf course is irrelevant.
Exactly.
Luckily, I've got his number.
Yeah.
Did you? How much play-by-play did you get from the 100-hole hike? Because
if you didn't go to the one club, I'd kick you.
yeah, right. Matt just did a four-part podcast on we're calling the greatest comeback in golf, but it really could have been about me at the 100-hole hike. I mean, I was down late, started throwing birdies at him. He just crumbled. He crumbled, and it was so satisfying. And part of this podcast on Laird Shepherd was celebrating their sportsmanship. I mean, like this poor guy Monty takes the most gutting loss in golf history. He gives him a hug. He's full of class. Matt gets closed out at Peter Hay, and he stalks off and pouts the rest of the day. I mean, it was really revealing of character. Well, anyway, we digress.
That's right. I expect a rematch. 100 holes of 100 points, par points golf. We'll see how many points you can score. It'd be entertaining.
That was actually disappointing because we played 9 holes of par points. I made 8 pars on a bogey. I just couldn't make any putts, and Matt got me by 100 points. That sucked because I was actually played much better brand of golf, but he threw a couple birdies at me, and those double points were a killer. But anyway.
It was good to do some analysis. You guys did have a couple rounds in there where you seemed like you got tired. Then you rallied at the end is what I noticed. So
I know. I made 5 birdies in the first 36 holes, and then I went 4 hours out making another birdie. I was just kept hitting it 25 feet and missing the putt. It was ridiculous. I mean, I literally went 50 holes out of birdie. It was so pathetic. But then I got hot at the end. So anyway. Well, hey, Brandon, thanks for stopping by, man. So I had to say Kevin and the rest of the crew for us.
Yeah, definitely will. Thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
All right. See ya.
All right. See ya.
Check in on the open.
All right. Let's check in on the open. There's a lot going on. I think the big boys are starting to assert themselves. Dustin and Brooks have come on strong. Obviously, we know what King Louis and Jordan are doing, Morikawa. Bryson's at +1. That's going to put him on the threshold of the cut. I think he'll make it, but it's no sure thing.
What was that?
Spieth almost missed a 2-footer.
Where's Laird sit on the cut line? He's right out.
What is the cut right now?
He's not going to make it. Some talk about Laird Shepherd, who we're all invested in, but at +1 is probably going to be it. Let's look at this leaderboard a little more. Dustin's now up to T4. He's making birdies like crazy. I mean, Scotty Scheffler, he's dangerous. He's just the classic field player. Of course, we got Rahm, who was really treading water yesterday. He's gone deep today, 6 under. Tony Finau, of course, is skanking around. As low as the scoring is, all these guys at 2 and 3 under, I mean, they would have to do something transcendent to get back in it, but you never know. And of course, the weather can always change, but let's scroll down at the guys who are likely to miss the cut. Francesco, he was playing well on the West Coast, he seems to have lost it. A little slower, Colt. Patrick Cantlay, that's a surprise. He's been playing well, and he's kind of a big game hunter. And he's fighting for a spot on the Ryder Cup team, as is Patrick Reed, who's definitely going to miss it. So that hurts their cause for sure. Victor Perez has been hot, but he didn't get it done. Harris English, who was on a heater, but he's definitely not going to make it. Keith Mitchell, he was kind of a dark horse.
Stuart Sink.
Yeah, Stuart Sink.
Oh, no.
Stuart Sink was on the board yesterday, and he's +8 today. I mean, the course is playing easy, but if you're 10 yards off the fairway, you could be dead. So haven't seen much of Stewart's game. I'm assuming he's driving it poorly because that's big numbers lurk if you hit a foul ball. Darren Clark, no one really expected him to be a factor, but it would have been fun if you could have had a little more of a swan song. Otherwise, Nicholas Poppleton, no one's ever sounded more English. Kind of a cool underdog story, not playing well. Phil with a slight rally, 2 over, seemed like a victory after his 80. We should mention Will Zalatoris, the WD.
Not a lot of people know about him, though.
No, he's a young, scrappy guy out of nowhere.
Recently, people were talking about him a lot.
Yeah. Royal St. George is so laughably short for a major championship that in an effort to sort of protect the course, they've got waist-high weeds out there. And Will actually jacked up his back because, the club just can't move through that. And when you're swinging something at 110 miles an hour and it comes to a dead stop, that's not good. It also, he's built like a ballerina, so could be an issue. But it's disappointing, and it's another issue with setup. As the courses play shorter and shorter, you have to push the edges a lot harder. And Will Zalatoris, a victim of the RNA. Let's see what else we got popping here. Let me go back into Twitter.
You need a little reacts on that, Alan.
Of what? Oh, let me get them back there. I was on Twitter. Yeah. Matt celebrating his birthday. We have a tequila sponsor at the fire pit. How good is that? So he's doing some brand building and also killing his liver. But he only turned 51, so you got to go for it. Well, what do we think? We're hour plus in.
It's pretty solid for.
I think we figured out the tech. We had some fun.
People watching at the moment.
We had some cameos from some people in our little orbit. That was good stuff. Maybe we'll call this. But for those who dropped by, thank you. We'll try and turn this into a little more of a thing going forward. This was our first stab, and we're going to call it a success. A guarded success, but it was fun. Thanks to all y'all, and we'll be back at it again soon.
Beautiful sign up.
I don't know.
You don't need Christina to do that.
I don't need Christina.
I think it's just the devil.